guys, Audrey from The Real Talk here. Today I'm going to be reviewing Beautiful Boy starring Steve Carrell, Timothée Chalamet, and Maura. I am super excited that I get to review this film because it was my most anticipated film of the year, and I'm going to say right off the bat that it did not let me down. So this film is actually based on a biographical memoir by David Sheff, talking about his son Nick Sheff's struggle with drug addiction. So this movie delves into some really heavy topics such as, drug addiction and father and son relationships and dynamics and stepmoms and step-siblings. So all these really complex topics. But this movie did an amazing job at handling all of those things, I feel. But yeah, so starting off with Steve Carrell, if you followed his career, we're used to having him more as this funny guy, but it's really interesting and cool to see him doing these more serious emotional roles, and I think he knocked it out of the park playing the dad, David Sheff. With the opening scene, I'm not going to spoil anything, but with the opening scene, you just have this dad, and he's looking for help for his son. He wants to understand what's going through his son's head. He wants to help him. He wants the best for him, like any parent. So you automatically feel this connection with him, and he's a likable character, and you just feel for him for what he's going through. And then after that, it kind of just shows you their relationship throughout the years, from Nick Sheff being a little boy to him growing up. And it just shows that they have this, this beautiful bond. It seems impenetrable, and they have this really cool father and son relationship. And then somewhere along the line, Nick Sheff kind of loses his way and delves into this downhill spiral of drugs. And we go through that process with David Sheff, having that frustration and trying to figure out what's going on with him. He thought he knew his son, but then it turns out he didn't. He thought he knew everything about him. He thought he raised him a certain way, and then his son turns out to be something that he didn't expect. So yeah, I think they did an amazing job at taking the audience with them, going through this process. But that being said, Timothée also did an amazing job. He's been on my radar ever since Call Me By Your Name, which was my favorite film of last year. And ever since then, I just want more of Timothée. I think he's a natural. I think he has such a likableness to him, but he also can play that kind of douchey character. He has that just diversity, which I think is really, really great. He also came out in Lady Bird last year, so I remember mentioning to John, hey man, I want more Timothée, So I'm super excited that I got to get my fix of him from this movie. But yeah, I can think of 2 to 3 scenes right now at the top of my head that I was just floored at how well he can act. You can tell that he gives it his all, and he hones his craft, and he's trying his best. He's young still, but he's doing a killer job. And there's a lot of Oscar talk about him right now. I've been hearing people say just give him the Oscar already, which I don't really think is fair, because I think it's still too early to say something like that. But I can definitely see why, and I do think he should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor for this role, because he did do a killer job. So the spotlight, Maura plays the stepmom, and she also did a great job, but I feel like the spotlight was just on David Sheff and his son Nick Sheff, which is Steve and Timothée. That's just the whole movie, just their relationship, and I think they did a really great job at forming that really good bond. It was really believable. I really liked it. Definitely pulled on your heartstrings. I'm not gonna lie, this movie is hard to watch. It has a lot of triggering moments. From the half of the movie to the ending, I was crying like a baby. I'm not even gonna lie. But nonetheless, it was a beautiful story of just that unconditional love that a parent has. So yeah, I wish I could say some negatives about this movie, but I really don't have any. The score was great. The music, I thought, really tied it all in. Really cool. And I thought it was also really cool the way it was shot. There was some beautiful shots of LA and San Francisco. But I thought it was really cool that when Nick Sheff is going through his drug craze and all that, it's more chaotic, more dirty, more grimy in the city, and dark, And then when he's with his family, it switches to being zen and peaceful. There's a lot of shots of him at the beach by the water. It's a lot of light, you know, sunny colors and stuff like that. And then you have it with his dad at his house. It's really a beautiful house in the hills and the mountains with like trees everywhere. Really serene. And I thought that was really cool that it translated that way. Like you kind of feel like his emotions through that, the way it was shot. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, like I said, I don't really have any negatives about it. I wish I did, but I don't. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've seen it, if you want to see it, what did you think about it, if you hated it, just leave it all down there. I love to read comments, so go ahead and let me know. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. We have movie reviews coming out weekly, as well as the podcast. I'm going to go ahead and leave all our social media links down below as well. Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff is going to be in the description. So yeah, that's all from me, you guys. I definitely recommend this movie. Give it 2 thumbs up. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.